It is with sad hearts that Alfie Evans has died. He died at 2:30 a.m. UK time. Dr. Isabella Religion from Poland looked over Alfie and said he was not in fear of death. So that must mean only one thing, folks. When a nurse or whoever comes in to look after you, when it's nighttime to check on your IV and all other sorts of equipment they have you hooked up to, one of them must have, I'm guessing now, injected Alfie or something. Because if he was not in fear of death, how did he die so suddenly? He lived for almost a week without the ventilator, meaning he breathed on his own. He looked into the camera at all of us Alfie army soldiers, winked at us, smiled at us. How all of a sudden could that full of life child suddenly die? Only one thing explains it. The lethal injection they said they were going to use. And let me get that article up. So Alfie Evans is dead. This comes from Michael Hitchborn on April 23rd, president of the Lepanto Institute. I have just checked a message I have from someone working with baby Alfie's parents. I have confirmed that the hospital will be administering drugs that suppress breathing. They are literally murdering the baby by lethal injection. That was on April 23rd, 5 days ago. Now Alfie is all of a sudden dead. I believe Alder Hayes Hospital and staff injected the same lethal injection used on death row inmates to kill this full of life child of 2 years of age. They literally killed and held hostage this child and their parents and denied the Italian government and denied this little Italian citizen his right to be taken home to Italy. The Gesù Bambino Children's Hospital near the Vatican, where the president of the hospital said they are willing and ready to take care of Alfie and heal him and treat him properly. This hospital did not want to talk to the Italian consul. They did not want to talk to anybody of the Italian embassy staff. That means they did not want Alfie to live. And I quote from one of the doctors there. that they have a bad temper, the parents, and so Alfie's must die. Alder Hay couldn't diagnose Alfie when he was alive. Do not let them have a second chance. Do not let them take his body and be lost among the other thousands who have no names. That's right. Alder Hayes is known for organ harvesting. They take the children to the back room, so-called operation room. Put the child on the table without the parent's consent. Open him or her up. Take out the non-vital organs and sew them back up. This is from the Guardian newspaper. This is in question and answer form by David Batty, Tuesday, 30th January 2001. Why was an inquiry into the use of children's organs launched? Former Health Secretary Frank Dobson launched an inquiry in October 1999 following revelations that 3 children's hospitals had been harvesting hearts, lungs, brains, and other organs from dead babies without their parents' informed consent. Parents are distraught to find that thousands of body parts had been removed and kept in hospital storage. What has the inquiry examined? The inquiry, led by Chief Medical Officer Liam Donaldson, has looked at what information parents are given and what they understand by consent and recommended further future practice across the National Health Services. The census coincided with the publication of the report on Liverpool's Alder Hayes Children's Hospital, where 2,080 organs were removed from 800 children. How many organs have been harvested? The Donaldson report found that 105,000 organs are retained at hospitals and medical schools across England. When did the scandal break? The scandal first broke in 1999, when it emerged that the hearts and other organs of 170 children who died at Bristol Royal Infirmary had been kept without their consent. The scandal at Alder Hay emerged soon after. It became clear that organ harvesting at the hospital went back for decades. Have any other practices have been criticized? Last week it emerged that Birmingham and Liverpool hospitals had also given thymus glands removed during heart surgery from live children to a pharmaceutical company for research in return for financial donations. Alder Hay also stored 1,500 children that were miscarried, stillborn, or aborted without consent. 1,500 children. John and Jane Does are still at Alder Hey Hospital. Postmortems are performed when there is doubt about a cause of death, which is especially important in young children. Organs and other tissues are removed and examined during autopsies. Excuse me a bit. How did this happen? Doctors and scientists thought that telling parents exactly what happens during and after postmortem was too distressing. Parents did not realize that by signing a consent form for postmortem stating tissues may be retained for research that allowed the hospital to remove or dispose of all their children's organs. Some parents of children who died at Alder Hey still do not know what body parts the hospital still has. Has any guidance been issued directly? Professor Donaldson has issued interim guidance to hospitals, requiring them to tell parents exactly what autopsies involve and get their explicit permission if there is any need to remove organs. What does Professor Donaldson report can recommend? It says major changes in the law are needed to ensure parents, patients, and relatives are giving informed consent to the removal of organs during postmortem examinations. Who has been called to account? The Alder Hey inquiry, chaired by Michael Redfern, QC, points the finger at the rogue Dutch pathologist Dick Van Velsen, who kept an 11-year-old's head in a jar. During his time at the hospital, he systematically ordered the unethical and illegal stripping of every organ from every child who had a post-mortem. 4 NHS staff, including the current chief executive, have also been suspended. The Redfern report has been referred to Merseyside Police and passed to the Director of Public Prosecution. The General Medical Council has also begun an investigation of Professor Van Velsen and is holding an emergency meeting on Friday to consider limiting his registration. This is in 2000, 2001. You could already see back then how crazy and whacked out these people are. Limiting. Heck no. These new Dr. Mengels are just like the SS so-called doctor. They don't need to be limited. They need to be put in prison for life. And if any of the same doctors of Alder Hey Hospital is continuing in this practice of what Dr. Mengele started in World War II as an SS psychopath, I urge all governments of the European Parliament to ask that this hospital, Alder Hey, be shut down, investigated, and have special staff come in to find the missing children and give them proper burial and inform their parents that their children have been found and are being given proper burial. That these butchers are given life sentences without parole. That is what is needed, folks. No more small, weak, pathetic talk by these UKers. You're just overly too polite. I don't know when that sleepiness, almost too politeness started. But you can tell in the battles in World War II, like Operation Market Garden, that people died because of that. So I say it is time to wake up. Restore that crusader spirit that England once had, where they were fighters, warriors, able to speak the truth and not worry about offending anybody. This hospital, and the hospitals like it in the UK, and even in Europe, have created crimes against humanity. It must be shut down. All the doctors, nurses, whoever, must be banned from practicing any kind of medicine, any kind of law, ever again. I fully support Alfie's law to make sure this never, ever happens again. Day is full.